We're all gonna die. Greetings and salvations. I'm one Thoth Neverborn, The-Abyss-That-Slumbers, and you are listening to the Eldritch God as I record here at the death of humanity. We are all boned. Just boned. You remember in last video I said, yeah, this thing's incredibly stable, so they're going to come up with a cure eventually. Made a small miscalculation there. I misread the minimum size needed for the flu to mutate, so when I extrapolated to Wuhan flu, I was off by about a factor of 100. Yeah, that's right. As soon as this thing gets about, a quarter of a billion people infected, it'll start mutating. It's not going to mutate like the normal virus, normal flu. That needs a much smaller population to mutate, but this thing, quarter of a billion is all you need. And it's going to get a quarter of a billion at least. In fact, there's rumors it's already mutated into a new, equally infectious strain, so I honestly believe it's infected at least 250 million people in China by now. Why do I believe that? Well, I don't know. You seen the videos? I'm not going to play them because you can find them. Where the robot drives up to the guy's front door, and the guy's filming the robot through the bar's window, and the robot's telling him, "You're fucked. You're just fucked. You come out here, we're going to shoot you. Don't come down the stairs, we'll shoot you. Don't try and leave through a window, we'll shoot you." And then there's this great picture of these two guys, they're standing there, and they're terrified. And these two nurses, dressed up in full-body hazmat gear, are talking to them. Are they giving them advice on what to do in case they're infected? No, they're saying, there's been 0 cases in this county. 0 infections. You guys are going to be quarantined here for 14 days. You step out that door, there's armed people downstairs who are going to shoot you. So you're in this place 14 days. By the way, we hope you'll do your part to make sure there's no more infected people in our county, because the county count has been 0, and it's going to stay that way if you know what's good for you. I'm serious. This is insane. We're all screwed. God, I'm so thirsty. I don't know what the hell it is. I thought I was over this shit. I think I'm having the second wave of the Wuhan flu. Because if you guys, those of you who saw my, I should unlock those videos and let everybody see them. It probably doesn't matter now. But, oh my God, about a month ago, I was just feeling terrible. I was awful. Oh, and I'm feeling that bad again. Oh, they say this thing reinfects you. I don't think it does. I really don't. I think what happens is because all the reinfections are in China. And in China, they're just shitty. They just got shitty doctors. And doctors say, you're clear, and let them go. And they don't realize, oh, I declared you cured, and now you have again? You must be reinfected. No. How about this? Since the reinfection only happened within 2 weeks, maybe he just never got over it, and you're assholes, and you're not doing your job. Just saying. Just saying. Because the fact of the matter is we don't know how long this shit lingers. If you've seen my previous video, you know about the threshold of virus needed, the needed virus threshold for your body to even recognize you have an infection. So, if you've got the virus, but it's at a pretty low key, it just might linger around forever. You might be coughing up lung chunks for the rest of your life, and it'll never go away. It's like lung herpes. I know I said it wasn't lung herpes. I'm beginning to wonder if it's lung herpes. Because, get this. You're gonna love this. Okay, so here's the new treating regimen. They give you the antivirals, then they give you antibiotics just in case you get some secondary infections. God, this sucks. Then they give you anti-parasiticals. Why? I don't know, because apparently, anti-malaria drugs work pretty good for some reason. They give you anti-AIDS drugs. So, and then they pump you full of anti-inflammatories and steroids to the point where you're going and pawing the earth with your hooves. By the way, did I mention the malaria drug in question occasionally leaves you blind or deaf or something like that? I don't know why I'm laughing. I guess I'm laughing because there's nothing else to do. This is just nuts. This is the most fucked up shit ever. This virus is from fucking hell. It's a beautiful virus. By the way, I think I didn't mention this last one. Do you know that this virus, when you compare it to its parent virus, is the bat Wuhan flu? You know what apparently is going on? Apparently, it's smaller than the original. Man. And you might be saying, so what? Viruses don't usually get smaller. See, if there's a mutation that caused part of the virus chain to break off, say, 100 characters of DNA. Well, not DNA. I forget what the individual name for the individual GCTA, you know those letters that make up RNA? Well, 100 pieces break off. Usually that's bad. And apparently a lot more than 100 broke off. Like, about 6% of the virus went snap, drifted off. And then, for some reason, by the way, this is news. The Peace Shuttle, somebody's telling me the Peace Shuttle protein chain is only 68% match. So they're saying it's not Peace Shuttle. I'm like, 68% match. Really? How about the Chinese tried to come up with their own Peace Shuttle and they fucked it up? Okay, but ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore the DNA chain that's freaking copyrighted. Okay? Next to that comes along OCF10 protein, which doesn't appear in coronaviruses ever. It's never been seen in another coronavirus. That's the new part of the Why? I mean, like if you said it's a 96%, somebody's telling me it's only an 88% match with the firm or bat virus. Whatever. All I know is OCF10 does not appear in coronavirus. It appears in herpes. It appears in a couple other viruses. It doesn't appear in that one. And it makes for an incredibly stable virus. I mean, if I was going to experiment and try to cure coronavirus, the big problem with it is it's always fucking mutating. So if I attach some protein to it that keeps it stable, I'll know what it's doing, right? Great way to test it. Until some crazed nut job. Oh, this is great. This is great. At first, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe this. There's a cult. And by the way, for those people going, it's Christians. Christians are not cultists. Christians ain't cultists. Christians are good people. Except that they're following a guy who thinks he's both Jesus Christ and Satan. He's both. He's a twofer. He's pulling a David Koresh. Okay, if you guys remember David Koresh, he was Jesus and Stalin and some other dead famous guy. He's just constantly reincarnated. Jesus and Stalin, same guy. Did you know that? I didn't know that. David Koresh. It's a full package. He's a triple threat. I don't know what that means, but he's a triple threat. Maybe he tap danced. He was Jesus Christ, he was Stalin, and he tap danced. This guy, he's a triple threat because he's Jesus Christ, he's Satan, and he convinced his followers to all infect themselves with the Wuhan Chinese death virus. Yes, it's the death plague. I'm calling it the death plague. You can take your COVID and go fuck yourself. Okay, coronavirus, infectious disease. It's kind of like did the Department of Redundancy Department come up with this shit? Is that who came up with that name? Is the Department of Redundancy Department? So anyways, the death cult. I'm gonna fucking die from this shit. Oh god. So, the South Korean death cult. Did you know they had a church in Wuhan? That's right. They had a church in Wuhan. And then, surprisingly, off their Facebook, poof, all evidence they had a church in Wuhan. And he's got some super spreaders going around infecting everybody. It's a great theory. What if, and you know these cults, they're great at recruiting people. What if they recruited somebody and said, wow, I'm happy to join your cult. By the way, do you know I work at, a virology level 4 building? But yes, I do work on super viruses that can attack the lungs, kidneys, heart, liver, testicles. Yeah, we got some of that shit. Sterilize half the planet. Why do you ask? Okay. So let's review. In China, where they are building 30,000 new hospital beds. Because they're only getting 400 more cases a day. Did you know that? 300 new cases a day. The totals are dropping. Because they make it fucking illegal to catch the virus. Deep problem. If you simply change the definition of what is infected and make having the virus illegal, poof, gone. No more coronavirus. It's all gone away because the Chinese government said so. Jesus Christ. I got a really cool theory. Boy, because I'm on a fuck of a tangent. What if all those bodies being burned aren't from the coronavirus? Yeah, seriously. Have you thought about that? I mean, we really don't know what's going on in China right now. For all we know, there's a fucking open war. I mean, you think Winnie the Pooh's the only guy in charge? There's other strongmen. And I'm sure the other strongmen are going, you know what? I have all these guys in chem suits with shotguns. And your guys are all dying. These guys with military weapons could just kill all of you and take over. Then we'd have to get rid of all these bodies. Oh, wait! We've got 40 brand new crematoriums set up in Wuhan. Yes, apparently China has a frickin' fleet of mobile crematoriums. Why does China have, on demand, 40 trailer truck-sized crematoriums available to drive into Wuhan? Because, after all, people aren't dying anymore. Or rather, now they're going to have to say, nobody else died from the virus. Starvation from being boarded up into their apartment building, yes. Yes, they all died of starvation, but from the virus, no. Nobody died from the virus. When they tried to escape their death prison, we shot them, but the virus didn't kill them. That was just lead poisoning. High velocity lead poisoning. Steel jacketed. Laser rounds. 2 coronaviruses to the back of the fucking head. I'm gonna fucking die from this shit, aren't I? When they say it's not here in America. Oh, it's not here. Don't worry about it. I got a fucking friend whose sister has been put into a medically induced coma because she has the sniffles. That's right. She got the sniffles. And then they gave her all the usual antivirals and some antibiotics. And then her vitals went down a toilet, so they had to put her in a medically induced coma. So they can incubate her and basically start applying, anti-inflammatories with a hose. Word of advice. If your kidney starts shutting down, talk to your doctor about EPO drugs. That will increase the amount of hemoglobin and red blood cells so you can get more oxygen to your brain, because that's the name of the game right now. Any rate, the death cult. I think I got off tangent there. Let's say one guy from there infected 60 people. South Korea is screwed. Japan's probably screwed too. I'm beginning to wonder if I know it sounds like a joke. The death cult is the one who started all this. Probably not, but it would not surprise me if I found out a couple of those death cultists bought some tickets and traveled around the world. It's in person-to-person transmission here in the United States. There's, close to 10,000 people in voluntary quarantine just to be on the safe side here in America? I can't get the CDC to fucking return my phone call? Why is that? Probably because they already know Syracuse is a write-off. Central New York is fucked. All the facilities are in flu lockdown that I know about. Hospitals, I can't get anybody to talk to me about shit anymore. I don't know why the people over at St. Joe's are terrified, but people I used to talk to won't give me the time of day. I say, come on, give me something here. Tell me what's going on. They said, fuck no. I don't know what's going on at Strong Memorial Hospital, but they're fucking terrified over there. You just go look at their website. Don't take my word for it. Go look at their website. The new restrictions is just... Ain't seen shit like that before. And I got rumors from people that I used to work with in Buffalo telling me, oh yeah, Fayetteville, or whatever the fuck it is like, it's fucking like a, it's like a quarantine camp now. All because of whatever the hell is happening over the border in Canada. I mean, I lost contact with everybody I knew in Canada before this shit happened, but I can't imagine that Canada, with its stupid policies of like, yes, we're the humanitarian cap, no, those are some other assholes. I don't know, Canada's just run by Trudeau, and Trudeau is a fucking idiot. He's going to get everybody up there killed. One way or another, and then he's going to replace them all with, I don't know, blackface wearing freaks. Because he's a freak. Trudeau's a freak. And I'm sorry, all you Canadians that are going to die, it's your own damn fault. You voted for the asshole. Okay, I have no sympathy. Because you voted for him multiple times. You knew exactly what he is, and you voted for him because he's cute. You pay no attention to your goddamn politics. You don't pay attention to anything at all. You don't understand this guy's instituting policies that's going to basically take your little crap hole of a country that uses monopoly money and turn it into a barren wasteland. And America is going to have to move in and take over just because, somebody's got to pet the fucking moose when you're all dead. Okay? So... who knows? I'm sure some fur traders out in the middle of nowhere are going to survive this apocalypse, but, a little long darking up there. But the rest of you guys are actually in, Quebec and all your, both your big cities? Yeah, you guys are toast. Holy shit. It's insane. Oh, did I mention this part? The locusts? Did I mention the locusts? Okay, so let's review China, shall we? China's got Corona-chan going on. China had a swine flu outbreak, so they had to kill all their swines. Then they had a bird flu outbreak and need to kill all the birds. Now, on their borders is coming a huge swarm of locusts, which China has decided to stop by releasing an army of 10,000 ducks. Yes, all of that is true. China is unleashing its secret weapon, ducks. I'm sorry, this is the end of the world. If God is indeed killing us all, he's got a hell of a sense of humor. Because leave him with a smile. Go out with a laugh. Because that's seriously, I'm laughing. Because there's nothing else to do. There's, I've already bought supplies, but... Does it fucking matter? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. It's either going to be extremely deadly and we're going to see people dropping over in the street. But here's the only thing that's giving me any hope. Okay, just so you guys know, just so it's not all gloom and doom. China has been self-selecting its population. Whatever numbers it's been giving us up until now, they've only been testing bad cases. Whatever a bad case is. But by definition, that's somebody who's showing symptoms. So if you're only testing the people showing symptoms, you're skipping over all the people who are asymptomatic. And some estimations put it to only 1 in... So if China's doing testing the way it is, perhaps they've only been catching 1 out of 6. Which means... I'm pretty sure they're catching the deaths. I mean, doubling the deaths, we're still off. So the death rate is probably 1/3, at least. Probably 1/6. 1/5, 1/6 of what they're showing. So this might be as low as 1%. And the reason why everybody's dying is because of poor health care, because it's run by communists who are assholes. There may be massive amounts of bodies building up, not because of the virus, but because they're starving people to death and shooting them. And it wouldn't surprise me if right now there are parts of China that are in fucking up in revolt, because there's sections of the country that I have no doubt if they were given the opportunity would tell Beijing to go fuck themselves and, seize a couple of tanks if they could. Let's see what happens. But China's getting screwed. China's so screwed, they're saying, okay, the virus is fine, everybody back to work. Are they just planning on writing off 1 out of 6 people? I really, truly believe this is China's plan. They're going to send everybody out. They're expecting 1 out of 6 to die. They're just going to pile the bodies up outside the factories every day and hold guns to the back of the head of everybody else and say, get back to fucking work. The rest of the world needs their plastic, throw pillows and shit. I don't know where I'm going with this. Other than I have reached the point where I'm pretty much exhausted any real hope I have. It isn't genetic related. This whole white people are immune shit. I didn't believe that to begin with. But there doesn't seem to be any genetic thing. As for, it being environmental, that still might be the case, but maybe only by a factor of 2 or 3 reduction. So maybe we're looking at 1 out of 20, 5% death rate without hospitalization, 1% with. That's still worse than, every other flu ever when it comes to death rate for a pandemic. I know there's other viruses that are much more deadly, but not for a pandemic. Ebola, for all of its terror, isn't really set up for a pandemic. It kills too fast, and it doesn't spread fast enough. SARS might have had some legs, but it didn't have that. Once you started showing symptoms, it was easy to pin you down. This thing, you catch it. Well, if you're going by Iran's numbers, you catch it and you're dead in a couple of hours. Did you see that? Oh, yeah, we got 2 cases. About 3 hours later. Oh, those 2 cases are dead. Oh, by the way, did we mention we have 9 other cases? How many hours until they're dead? Iran has all but admitted, yeah, it's probably everywhere. It's probably in every major city. It's probably everywhere. But we don't have time to deal with this shit because we're in the middle of a voting period. You're going to have all these people line up to vote. And while they're in line, people are going to go... I'm going to vote for Amon. They're all Amons. That's the joke. Not drunk, by the way, just incredibly tired. Because I gotta stay awake and I'm staring at this shit. And I'm sitting here, and here's the part that's killing me. This is the part that just makes me laugh. I talk to my coworkers. I talk to other people I know. They haven't even heard of the virus. And the nurses that I know that I talk to this, they don't take it seriously at all. The nurse that is in charge of the facility at the other location I'm working at, I'm talking to her and she's like, and I go, wow, this thing's incredible. And she goes, yeah, it's gonna go away. And it's like, what? And she says, yeah, it's harmless. It's just like the flu. And I said, really? The flu? Really? Okay, this thing cloaks itself in the membrane of the cells it kills. It has retractable glycospikes for infecting cells. It's a super infectious. You catch it, you don't show symptoms for like weeks sometimes, and it can linger for weeks after you show symptoms and have recovered. This thing is incredibly infectious. And she just kind of, was like, oh, man, whatever. What? I'm smarter than you. Why am I doing this job? Because I used to be in banking and I did a lot of evil shit and I finally grew a conscience. That's why. And frankly, I don't want to be rich anymore because I made my money and I'm done with that. Now I'd like to actually enjoy my life and spend time with people and do things and be creative. But because I don't have numbers or letters or a piece of paper, even though I've done more research than, most professors will do in their lifetime, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Funny thing is that all this shit, all this stuff that's coming out, the experts go, no, that's not real, that's not possible. A couple of days later, oh, yeah, it turns out that was true. That was true. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We were just being cautious. It's going to burn itself out in about 2 or 3 weeks, by the way. That's the official report. We have 2, maybe 3 weeks in Wuhan, then it'll drop. The rest of the world's only a month behind the Wuhan, so at most, we got 2 months of this. Did you know that? This is only going to last another 2 months. At, 7 days of life cycle, or a doubling or whatever. Let's go 7 days. 8. So it's only going to double itself every, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. It's only going to be 256 times our current totals, which if we go by official numbers is 75,000. I don't want to do the math. Because it's insane. It truly is. It's crazy. I mean, if you're listening to these idiots, it's at least going to reach 75 million. 75 million? No, 25 million. 25 million-ish. Something. But that's not. It's not. This thing's got the legs. It's probably, as I said, start. It's probably got 250,000 people. A 250,000,000 people in China, at least. If they're not showing symptoms, they've caught it. I mean, the numbers support that. Because it's crazy. But we're not supposed to worry. Nobody even knows it's happening. Nobody. I'm in the medical fucking field. I work with doctors and nurses and all sorts of direct care people. Nobody knows. Nobody. The HR department knows more about this than the nurses. Yes, that's right. I found one person in the HR department who I talked with about this. And she knows more about it than the doctors and the nurses. Are they deliberately covering this up? Are they just deliberately lying to everybody? Is there some massive conspiracy where every doctor and nurse on the planet got an email that said, keep your mouth shut? Or are they just all stupid? I would really prefer it was a conspiracy. I really do. This is something I've been meaning to talk about. Conspiracies are great. You know why? Because it means somebody's in charge. It means the situation's under control. It means that this was deliberate and that it was caused. Okay? And in theory, someone could reverse it. So that's why climate change is man-made. Because then man can undo climate change. If climate change wasn't man-made, then we're just fucked. If this virus wasn't made by, the CCP or the CIA or KGB or pick an alphabet soup of your choice. If they didn't make it, guess what? Take a guess. This just happened. It wasn't caused by God. It wasn't caused by the wrath of Mother Nature. It's just a catastrophe. It's just shit that happened. People love conspiracies because they give you control. Because even if it's unfair, even if it sucks, even if you're a victim, well, now you're a victim. You're not just an innocent bystander who got caught up in the collateral damage. You're now a victim. And there's somebody somewhere who's got a face you can punch. You might not know who they are. You might not know where they are. But there's someone to blame. Someone to punish. Someone who's got it coming. If there's a conspiracy. If this was somebody's fault. If the CIA did it, and this is their means of getting back at China over economic stuff, or if, because the virus is known to attack testicles and sterilize people, this is part of population control, or if just it's, it's George Soros's fault if you talk to the Philippines, or who's that guy? Bill Gates? Yeah, that guy. That guy's been doing it because he held a press conference once talking about how if a virus got loose, it'd be bad. So clearly, he wanted to, by warning people there might be a virus, he wanted to kill them all. It's just his way of throwing everybody off the track. You got it! You broke the code! Good job there! You know the truth. Well, here's a truth bomb for you. It's just a catastrophe. It's just... I'm pretty sure it was man-made, but I think it was just accidentally released. Some idiot just let it loose, whether it was somebody who forgot to wash their hands, somebody, as that one report says, a bat peed on him. Would it be hysterical if we're all dead because somebody got pissed on by a bat? Or the reports of that receptionist working at the virology lab who used to sell the bats for cash on the side. It was like, oh, you gonna do anything with that experimental bat now that you're done with it? Oh, I'm gonna go sell it at the market. I mean, what's worse could happen? You could kill billions of people. Millions. We're not gonna kill billions, just millions. Just millions. Or my personal favorite, I love that one. There was a cultist who got recruited and said, you know what? I'm gonna self-infect. Then I'm going to go to South Korea. I'm going to infect the other 1,000 people in this congregation because none of them are allowed to wear glasses, goggles, or masks. And they all sit really close together and pray before Jesus Christ / Satan. It's insane. It's like a Lifetime movie network. It doesn't make shit up this crazy. The Sci-Fi Channel with Sharktopus and Sharknado and Shark Virus, I assume. That's going to be the next one. Corona Shark. That's the next one. That's their next... I got your next movie right here. Call me Sci-Fi Channel. I'll get you a script. I'll slam it out. Weekend. Okay? Corona Shark. It's about somebody took little itty bitty coronavirus and crossbred it with sharks. And so you got this swarm of microscopic sharks. Corona Shark. Coming soon. Never, because we're all going to be dead before it can be produced. Well, actually, maybe not. Sci-Fi Channel can churn out some shit in like in a hot minute, really, when you think about it. Yeah, we'll just slap some CGI on some people staring at each other and stock footage, and then we'll splice some words over it. There you go. Trauma Productions has nothing on freaking Sci-Fi Channel. I wanted to have better news. I wanted to have an update that was more philosophical, that had, that explained some things to people. Explained how, disproved some myths. But the problem is the longer this goes on, the more it looks like these myths are 100% true. It's been real. And it's been fun. And it's been real fun. Via Condius, planet Earth. We had a good run. GG, man. GG.
The spokesman said all 3 bodies were buried immediately. He refused to say where Lumumba was killed for fear of reprisals again.
The broadcast will quiet at this time for your safety. Continue to carry out the following instructions.
Cultural stimulation, and proper exposure to the finer things in life.
Picking up warm, moist air from the south, bringing it northward. So when the 2 masses collide over Kansas, we are looking for some precipitation, and we'll talk about that in a moment.